What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're taking a peek over here at the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market. We've got another big green day here in the cryptocurrency market coming off of yesterday's big rise after the Federal Reserve had their announcement of 75 basis points rise to the federal funds rate, bringing us to 2.25% to 2.5%, but also changing their tone a little bit in regards to being back to neutral and that they'll be more data dependent moving forward. We saw big numbers yesterday. We're seeing those things again today. Look at Bitcoin Cash up 23%, Ethereum Classic up 22%, Uniswap, Neo both up over 10%, and green really across the whole board. So nice to see some green action here in the cryptocurrency market, with Bitcoin still fighting to get back up above here right now. So not safe quite yet for Bitcoin. We've seen these things happen several times before. We want to see it get above 24,300 to say it's not doing these same things that we've seen happen over and over again. So still not out of the clear, not in the clear yet for Bitcoin just yet. But we could see in just the last hour, a nice little breakout here happened for Ethereum. Yesterday, we noticed it was coming back up to all the retracement levels, had the Fed meeting, got through retracement levels, boom, now a breakout. We've taken out the high that was set there back on July 24th. So moving on up for Ethereum, the prices that it's at right now is that it's really right kind of underneath this area that was the whole breakdown level right in here. So it's still just kind of like back testing. It's like this big moment right now of, hey, can it get through here? If we can get through here, then hey, cool, man, it's all welcome to kind of like chill out for a minute. But we know there's big breakdown level that happened right in here. So Ethereum, let's see some more juice come out of here to not have a rejection come out of this level, which is the same thing we're kind of worrying about over here on Bitcoin right now until they can get through and not have a similar structure to what these falls have looked like before. Either way, if you didn't know, I was on the BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel live stream this morning. I've been doing that the last Thursday of the month every month. So a lot of times people think, oh, you just wouldn't know. These are planned out way ahead of time. So every last Thursday of the month I've been going on there, and it'll probably continue for a while. But the things that were pointed out over there is obviously that the altcoin market cap has, after 11 straight consecutive weeks in a row, after Terra, Luna, UST, Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, Voyager Digital, all the insanity of the depegging USDT from $1, which now in the last week it's been right back at $1. Prices are moving up, but you could see here, even with the total altcoin market cap, it's kind of at that same place right now. So we want to see some more juice come out of here, but it's been nice to see it bounce right off of that 200-week moving average. See if we can get some more juice coming out of there. Like we've talked about on this channel, Bitcoin's been back at a 786 Fibonacci retracement level over here from the entire run since the C19 sell-off. This is still technically a retrace and technically a backtest of the previous all-time high. So everybody's kind of waiting for lower prices, but so far it just hasn't offered that up yet. I think one of the positive things that we're seeing coming out of this is even with everything. So today we got the GDP numbers. We have negative 0.9% GDP growth. So we now have 2 consecutive quarters in the United States with declining GDP growth, which means the United States is technically in a recession. But coming out of the Fed meeting, coming out of this news, the markets still seem okay. We've got green still over here in the stock market following that. So, I shared this tweet over here on Twitter this morning that the NASDAQ 100 on Fed days has had pretty good days every single Fed day that we've had, at least a 2% rise happening each day on Fed days. And then the day after Fed day, well, back in June, it went down 4%. And then on May 5th, it went down 5%. March 17th, a little bit of a different story, but our last two, it took it all back right away. But not the case today. We're still green right now. We're about halfway through the trading day. There's still about 3.5 hours left of today's trading. For the US stock market, things could change, but we've now gotten through the bulk of things. We've gotten through most earnings. We've gotten through the Fed, and we've gotten through GDP. The market hasn't really been surprised by any of this, and I think the market's kind of more optimistic about the Fed and that earnings, yeah, they weren't great, but we had already said they weren't going to be great, and it wasn't anything too surprising, except Walmart and retailers kind of coming out and saying, look, we've got more inventory than we want to have, and it's probably going to take us longer to get through it. Otherwise, nothing too shocking out there, and stock market's still holding up, holding our levels, holding that 200-week moving average, and we could see indicators starting to flip here. We've got a cross over here in the MACD. We've got our first green over here on the MACD in quite some time. Same goes for the NASDAQ down in here after having a bullish divergence emerge in here, and then now getting the crosses down here on the MACD coming off of that 200-week moving average. So far so good, because we know crypto has a tendency to follow the stock market. What do you know? Take a look at the right side of the screen. We got green just like the stock market. So the correlation continues. But as we're going through today, still where we're at with Bitcoin right now is that we're still below that 24,300 over here. We've seen these things happen before. So still have some caution over here for Bitcoin. But if we start taking that out, if we take out 24,300, I'll start getting pretty excited, because in each of the circumstances where we pull back in, that has not been the case that we were able to go back up and take those levels out again. Each time we ended up moving down. When you pull back down, we haven't seen it reclaim that. So I'm looking to see that can happen before getting too excited about Bitcoin. And then at the same time with Ethereum, which now all that drying I just did looks like a bunch of slop at this point, but with Ethereum being right there underneath this price level right here, still that's a little bit of a concern at this exact moment to get too excited about the market. Ethereum Classic, which is up over 200% since the lows, right? Huge move happening in here. You look back to its past move right in here, it's back near retracement levels as well. So we're kind of reaching retracement levels in here as well. If this is a prolonged bear market, right? And if this thing is just going to roll over and keep doing these things over and over again, this is a pretty critical level that it would need to get through. And then, you've got more all the way up. And I mentioned this on BitBoy Crypto's YouTube channel, and I saw this over there on Twitter, and it wasn't directed at me, but I saw a lot of people saying, if we get to this price, then we can get to this price. And if we get to this price, then we can get to this price. And if we get to this price, we can get to this price. And, I think it's maybe that, we have a lot of new people in this market who haven't been through these types of time periods before. There's a lot of us who have been through these time periods before. And when you're trying to work your way back up, you've got to focus on all these different resistance levels before you can start cranking through them in here. And that's really what it is as you work your way back up. Everything above you is this resistance level, and there's going to be sellers at each of these resistance levels. So there's going to be people who say, it's time for me to get out right here. We're back into retracement levels. I've had enough. This was not fun. I did not like the 3 Arrows Capital, Celsius, Luna, UST collapse, all that stuff. It terrified me of this market. I was patient. I waited. I got back to retracement levels. I didn't sell out at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out of the market here as we're now back at retracement levels. There are going to be people who do that. And then there's going to be people who say, I'm going to do that here, right, too. And then there's going to be people who say, you know what, I'm going to do that right here. And then there's going to be other people who say, you know what, I'm going to do that when we get back to right here. There's people who say, I'm going to do it here, here, and here. And then some people who say, I bought the Pico top. I'm getting out of break even at the top, if it ever gets there, right? But right now, currently, with where Ethereum Classic is at, it's back at retracement levels. So kind of a confluence there, right? You saw Ethereum's reaching a level at which it's at a resistance. We see that Bitcoin's at a level that it's at a resistance. We've seen that the altcoin market as well is back at a resistance. So you have a lot of these things happening in here right now, and it's a lot of things for a lot of people to consider at this point on how they want to handle it. For me, this is kind of what I'm watching like a hawk right over here on the Bitcoin price chart. I met up with TXMC Trades a couple of weekends ago. He helped me put in this Pine script in here into TradingView, where we can take a look at the 200-week moving average, no matter what time frame we're looking at the chart on. So I'm going to be on the 15-minute chart. We can see the 200-week moving average. We on the 4-hour, 8-hour, daily. It doesn't matter. We can see where that 200-week moving average is sitting at currently. And what we can also see is that, hey, we're back above that 50-day moving average again. But at the same time, we know where we're at in regards to this whole structure. We've gotten through all of these retracements right in here right now. So we've gotten through all of them like Ethereum did. Not too far to go to take out that high. That's where I'll start getting a little bit more intrigued and a little bit more excited. But right now, still waiting on that. But my broader perspective of the market, which I hope is right, I don't know it, but this is how I'm placing my bets. We've got a back test in here. I'm waiting for a bigger retracement to come out of Bitcoin than what we have so far. And that's not going to be for everybody. I showed you that thing on Ethereum Classic right there, because there's some people who are just like, I'm done with this, man. This has been awful. May, June, and July have just been awful. We're in retracements. It's time for me to say adios. That may be the right call to do. But for me, I'm waiting for more to come out of Bitcoin and to kind of assess things as we get a little bit higher in here, if we do. But we have 3 days. How many days do we have left on this weekly candle in here? We've got 3 days and 7 hours left on the weekly candle to try to get back above it. as Ethereum was able to reclaim it with several weeks now continuing above that 200-week moving average. But we're still not in the clear here on the stock market. So like we've been talking about this week, this would be a volatile week. This would be a crazy week. There were so many announcements that were happening this week. We have seen a lot of volatility. We've seen a lot of price action so far in crypto and in the stock market so far. Today is going to be the last day of earnings, like the big one out there for the United States, Amazon. I know they're a big worldwide company, but they're a United States publicly traded company. I would suspect they're going to come out with bad news for Amazon. And then tomorrow, Friday, we'll be beyond all of this. We'll be beyond all the big earnings reports. We'll be beyond the Fed. We'll be beyond GDP announcing that we're in a technical recession. And then tomorrow, we're going to see how this market can handle itself. But hopefully tomorrow can be good. But I'm still kind of in that... we'll see how the market does while we're still in this week. But if we get through Friday, and if we get through tomorrow and things don't really hit the fan tomorrow, but if we see like Ethereum, step up a little bit higher, if we see Bitcoin step up a little bit higher, for me personally, I'm going to view that as pretty optimistic because that's getting through a couple of serious resistances in there. But from the perspective of the stock market, which we've been following and we've been behaving with, we're still not through everything. The final earnings are still this afternoon. Not only the big one of Amazon, but also of Apple. And then tomorrow, we'll kind of see how the stock market wants to digest everything that was given to it. So let's go Bitcoin, crack through 24,300. Let's go Ethereum. Let's get up there near that $2,000 price level, which same goes for the altcoin market. Let's get up there near 700 billion. I would start feeling a lot more relieved if we could get up to those price levels to say it doesn't look like we're doing this type of stuff anymore. And the bounce seems to be in full effect. So the markets have done well so far this week, getting through earnings, getting through the Fed, and getting through GDP. We still have a little bit more earnings today, and then tomorrow we'll see how the market digests all of it as we're back at these resistance levels. Let's see if we can get the clear break through it, and the market says that was good enough. Definitely optimistic for the market to be like this so far into it, but let's get through tomorrow, and fingers crossed, we're good to go. Otherwise, I'm going to start wrapping this thing up. As you guys know, Linqto has been a sponsor of the Blockchain Backer YouTube channel. They are running their $1,000 XRP airdrop bonus for the last time. This will end on July 31st. It's for any investments that are made on their platform. I'll read it to you right here. Linqto's final XRP promo ends July 31st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's the end of an era. Invest $10,000 in any private company available on Linqto's platform via wire, wallet, or IRA, and Linqto will airdrop you $1,000 in XRP. Terms and conditions apply. As many of you know, Linqto is a company where you can invest in private equity in companies prior to them going public. They have a ton of cryptocurrency companies on here. The most popular on here, of course, is Ripple. You can buy shares in the company Ripple. You can, of course, buy shares in Linqto or in BitPay, Dapper Labs, a whole list of assets in here that you can go through and check out and invest in these companies prior to them going public. There's a link in the description of each of my videos to Linqto where you can check out their website to see if you can get yourself accredited and start investing in private equity today. Otherwise, this is the last time they're going to run this type of promo for $1,000 back in XRP, and it ends on July 31st. On that note, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully when we check in, we've got a $24,300 Bitcoin price. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.